What was it exactly that you plan on giving her? You know exactly what I was going to give her, Numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. Engagement ring? Wow. Those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. No. It's not a joke. I swear to you, it's not a joke. This is a trial. This is an actual trial that's going to court right now. This is what your job description entails. This is the shit you get paid to do. And it is glorious. Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. So, in the last episode, we were introduced to Max Galactica, who's been picked up for murder. And after doing some investigating, it turns out he was, what was he? He got into an argument with the group, with a fellow carny. He has a bad opinion of the other people around him, and yeah, he got into an altercation with somebody, which is why he was picked up for murder. He got picked up for an incident that resulted in him beating a ventriloquist, Ben Woodman over the head, which caused the whole chain of events, and that's why he was picked up. People think he murdered the ringmaster because he got into one fight, even though the fight was not necessarily his fault. Not so much. He escalated it, but it wasn't his fault. It was a bit of a sore spot between the two, and Ben, through his puppet Trilo, just kind of goaded him on to the point where he got into a fight. So, yeah, I'm trying my best to summarize what exactly happened, but basically we met the people of the circus troupe in the turnabout Big Top, and yeah, now we're gonna go into the trial, and it should be interesting because I'm pretty sure I missed some things, but I'm trying to do my best to try and help recite the things that you guys might have missed, so that you guys can go back and watch them in order in case you missed them. That's what I try to do. But in any case, yeah. Let's go back into Turnabout Big Top, and this time it's going into the trial. So, this will be interesting. December 29th, 9:43 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby, number 5. Yeah, Max is nervous because as I explained, his fellow carnies don't like him very much. Because he's kind of prideful and arrogant. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? This isn't one of those times. You're gonna be fine. Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick? Max is really nervous. You think? I could tell. I'm sorry for snapping at you, Maya. It's just... yeah, it is kind of obvious. He's definitely a bit nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties! What? You don't think I should fly, do you? No. Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. That's a terrible idea, considering that, this is a court of law, and your ability to fly is kind of going to be a big point in that. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. Again, no. No. Yeah, Phoenix knows what's up. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. For now. I mean, Phoenix hasn't lost a case yet, so I'm hopeful. Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? Again? No. I can see it now. The dashing young Laura flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that, and everyone in the room will be on your side. Except no. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Thank you, Maya. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. Yeah. Yeah, Phoenix gets a lot of shit from a lot of different people, so, getting a compliment definitely goes to his head a little bit. Okay. That was a good joke. Alright. December 29th, 10 o'clock a.m. District Courtroom number 2. I'm still finding that funny. Alright. And now in the case of 1... What? Your Honor, get on with it! Why did I stall? Oh, sorry. I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Jones. Oh, okay. So he was trying to figure out a way to actually say it. So, well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, it's a stage name. Yes, Your Honor, he does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. Yeah, that seems like a smart call. It sounds more friendly. Yeah, it sounds a lot less personal when you call him by his stage name. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Miss Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win on this one, Mr. Phoenix, right? Well, maybe. I mean, you're a pretty top-notch prosecutor. You're no Edgeworth, but you're still pretty top-notch, so. Then again, I beat you last time despite that, so maybe don't get full of yourself just yet. Eh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. Well, too late. It's legal. It legally happened. It did not count. Do you hear me? Well, which one? According to the law, to the actual people that matter, the judge and the court system, it absolutely counts. So, yeah, revisionist history at its finest here, folks. She doesn't think that an actual court of law counted. That's just revisionist history. That's just revisionism in its finest. She doesn't want it to count because it's the only time she lost. She must still be upset about what happened last time. I don't blame her. You have no chance. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I'm not losing this case. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything. Even though you did. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Thank you, Maya. Thank you for summing up exactly what I and everybody else who plays this franchise feels. Thank you for summing that up. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook's procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Okay. But me? Guilty? Yeah, of what? What are you all talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. Well, it's not like it'll bring her dad back. Yeah. Again, maybe don't bring that up in front of her, but... There. Opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Okay. That was a really good opening statement, but I'm with you in spirit. Very well. You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Detective Gumshoe, get up there. Now! Okay. So... Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. Alright, Detective. You may proceed with your testimony. Alright, let's see how this goes. Details of the events. I don't think Gumshoe doesn't usually have holes in his testimony since he's usually, since he's a detective. It's kind of his job to be thorough. I would assume. I don't know, we'll see. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. Okay. Suppose that makes sense. All the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. That lines up. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. Around the time the murder happened. Yes, we've established it. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. Okay. The victim was found bent over a wooden box that is a doornail. The cause of the death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. Okay. Alright, that's handy. I see. He was beaten to death. Supposedly. Oh. Do I have an autopsy report? I don't know if I have an autopsy report. I don't think I was given an autopsy report. That would be handy to have. Here's the... Okay. Never mind. Here's the autopsy report for the victim. Never mind. Now, the court accepts this into evidence. Alright. Russell's autopsy report. Okay. Time of death, 10:15 p.m. Caused blunt force trauma to the back of the head. Alright. A blunt object. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, well, I don't think we have any sort of holes in this testimony. We're just gonna have to push and see what we find. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. Okay. Oh, I just realized something! Okay. I'm an idiot for not figuring this out sooner. Apparently, my soul gauge and my courtroom screw-up gauge are the same thing. I only just realized that. Because I wound up bringing it down to half last time because I was screwing around with the courtroom stage thing. I was screwing around with the Magatama thing, and I wound up almost completely depleting it, and then I wound up getting half back, and that's how much I have left in court. That makes it okay. So that makes me not want to do it willy-nilly anymore. Now I get it. All right. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40. Okay. Where were you? Let me ask you about the snow. There was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow. Let me see. There's gotta be more to this. What's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court records. Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing at the night of the crime? A picture of the crime scene. There shouldn't be anything... Oh, there's the option. Okay. That's just so there's something interesting here. Okay. Now what do I do? All the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. That lines up, but I want to push more details. And say all the circus performers. Who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course, the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Richard the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Okay, so you know about the monkey, but he wasn't part of that. He just grabbed your wristwatch and ran off. Detective, you're welcome to file a police report after these proceedings. Okay. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. Okay, so there's not much here. They kept to practice the routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in the front of the lodging house at 10:15. Alright. Alright, what about this? After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Yeah, that makes about sense. Then the ventriloquist went to the front gate, absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. Well, yes, but actually no. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. But we're not going to bring that up. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15. Okay, not a problem, pal. We got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Ow! This is totally meaningless. Time to move on. Alright. We'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? Blood from force trauma to the victim. What was the wooden box? A wooden box? That's right. What was in the wooden box? The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than I looked. Not to mention it was locked. Locked, you say? Okay. Wooden box had the victim was hunched over this 28-pound box. It boasts a small but strong lock. Alright, this may be my only chance, so I just want to ask some questions. About the wooden box. This wooden box, you figure it weighs about 20 pounds, right? Sounds about right. The whole thing is lined with iron. Iron plating? Why do you think it's lined with iron? I figured they just did it to make the box hit. Ouch! I think we could all do without your guesses, Detective. Stick to what little you actually know. Sorry. Suffice it to say, the box is really heavy. Alright, much better. You may continue on, Detective. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the box. Yeah, I'm gonna ask him about the box. About the lock. You said that the box was locked. How exactly was it locked? Well, it had quite a sturdy lock on it. It took quite a bit to open that bad boy up. So, when you found the box, it was locked, correct? Yes, it was. Some of the forensics team took it back to the precinct to crack it open. I see. Continue, Detective Gumshoe. Okay, let's continue pushing that. Because there's clearly some... Because I want to get as much information about this box as I can. Carrying the bomb. About the contents. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. A little bottle? Bottle? What is that, Detective? Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box? That's a good question. Who locks up their pepper that securely? I mean, if it is indeed pepper, it might not be. There was only one little bottle in that huge box? I wonder if it had some sort of special meaning. Small seasoning bottle. Found in the wooden box since the victim was hunched over. It contained pepper. Alright. Okay. Well, let's continue to push. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it is something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it at the scene. No. I bet he made it disappear with magic. Ho ho ho. Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. I guess that's all we're going to get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're going to get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now we've wrapped it up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness. Mo the clown, right? Eh? I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously. But that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. Well, that's just mean. I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. That's fair. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. Okay. Woody. She must be talking about Ben, the ventriloquist. Yes, it is indeed the ventriloquist. He's in my profiles, right? Yeah, he's Ben. It doesn't even list his full name, really? That, okay, well, actually, it doesn't list several of the full names for some of these guys. Well, oh, okay, never mind, I'm an idiot. I just wasn't looking at it correctly. Okay, I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well. Probably, and he's going to be, and the two of them are going to be a handful together. That's going to be interesting. Yes! That is exactly what I was playing. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My name is Triloquist. My full name is Triloquist. I'm employed as an opera tenor. Excuse me. The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist. That robe must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was the singer. Okay. Yeah, he's a ventriloquist, but he's not allowed to speak his own mind. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. I have me. The world of the law. Exciting and daring. Guilt or innocence. Decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? I think the judge might throw you out of court for that. And a good rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than an insulted judge. Shut up! Just look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly I want to punch you in the face off the chance swelling you would happen. You know that your nose is the real reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flushes into their minds. What's going on here? Order! Order! I demand to know who this witness is! Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this. I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about the getting testimony in my court. Ouch! You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now let's proceed. Yeah, this guy's kind of a... What you witnessed? Okay. Let's see. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge. I mean clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max, heading toward the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Yeah, but then you should have seen the ringmaster as well. Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. You saw Maximilian Galactica heading toward the scene? You're sure of that? Without a doubt, he had on his silk hat, coat, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown. That's right, dress boy. Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean that the clown had committed the crime? He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit. Why's that? There's absolute proof. Silk hat? This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Ah. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, then there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene. Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done. Except by Edgeworth, who is technically her older brother, question mark. Thank you for saying the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay, I guess she's the boss again today. Alright, let's just push. Let's just push until we can't. There's gotta be a hole. Let's push the clown. You're talking about Mo. Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to killing over for good. Poor guy. We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his old room. When it comes to being a first-place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack. Then what happened? Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. Alright, why the plaza entrance? To do some thinking, of course. It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't you thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. Well, too late. But I'm a good thunker. At least my teachers always said I was. Okay, that's a good one. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. Are you sure it was really Max Galactica? Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup? Snobby three-piece getup? Get with the wax out of ears, lawyers nowadays. You're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece getup. Jeez, could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions. Thank you. He was the only one headed that way. How could that bum not be the killer? And yet you didn't see... You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo? That's right. And that makes him the killer. How does that make him the killer? The victim went that way as well, and yet you didn't see the victim. That doesn't make any sense. There was only one person headed that way at noon. That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? Ben only saw Max? That is a good point. The fact that he only saw Max, and yet both Max and the victim went that way, it's suspicious as hell. So let's push that. That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well? What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose this witness could have seen? Well, he should have seen Mr. Russell Barrett here. So let's push that. That's the victim. That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well. Yeah! Obviously the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness. Could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime? Ah. I see. It seems that at this stage I have no reason to doubt that this witness's testimony. Yes, but it's also strange that he only saw Max, and not the victim. I mean, yes, the victim could have arrived earlier, but considering that the victim... Well, considering that he went directly to the lodging house, and considering that that Russell Berry was found outside the lodging house, there's a big hole there that needs to be filled in. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions. He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move on with the testimony. Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Absolutely. Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina. Which is probably why Max conked him over the head. That is a very good point. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. That's fair. That's absolutely 100% fair. This whole case is confusing as hell. I won't blame him for not understanding what's going on. Once practice is over, I left the tent with their stooge. I mean, okay, so there's... Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. Okay. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it? Huh? I think it was around, I'd say, a bit after 10:30, I think. Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather. Well, the truth is... Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling them anything extra? Because he was asked! Why can't you just believe that we stand outside in that weather? Well, maybe you were waiting for someone. What? Who said we were waiting for someone?
Objection!
Mr. Fink's right. We can all do without your offhanded theories.
Objection!
Alright. It's going back and forth. But, this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something. Mr. Wright. Who do you suppose the witness was waiting for on the cold that night? Well... I can think of a good guess. From T to R is engraved, so it has to be Trilo to Regina. Profiles. It's either Regina or Russell. Considering he was planning to marry Regina, that makes more sense. He would be hanging out around for her. But then again, he would also have to go through Russell to get his consent, so... I'm gonna ultimately do both, but I'm pretty sure it's one or the other. So let's do this one. Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina. What? You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this true? Well, you couldn't really ask me that question. Who cares who I was waiting for that night? I do. It's part of the case. It's important. It's important to have all the details. What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it. Well, well, well. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Eh? Alright. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought. Ah! That's a good point. That makes perfect sense. What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to the... ow! There is absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Well, that busts the hole in your theory, doesn't it, Miss Von Karma? Alright, alright. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true. I was waiting for Regina. Pain! Don't volunteer things. Too late. Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house? I was. I was waiting to propose to her. And again, people are going to find that... You probably shouldn't have admitted that through your puppet, Mr. Ben, there. You probably should have admitted that, Ben. Your puppet... That people are going to find that weird. You were what? Waiting to propose? Yeah, it's weird for a number of reasons. Just go with it, Judge. I've already accepted that fate. I've already accepted that this trial's a bit screwy. What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage? Well, considering you're a puppet, yeah, and there's a lot of... It's actually Ben who has a crush on Regina. That should be obvious, considering that Trilo only says what Ben wants to say but can't because he's too shy. So it should make sense that Ben is the one who actually is in love with Regina. But the fact of the matter is that he's projecting them through Trilo, and Trilo thinks that he has a crush on Regina, when in actuality, Trilo is a puppet, and puppets cannot have emotions. The matter of the puppet marriage is not under review at this case. You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit. More pain. Huh. Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect blade is not so perfect anymore. Well, thank you. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Okay. About the proposal. Alright, we're making a hole. Making a hole, we're making a hole. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give her. Yeah, you lost your ring. I'm pretty sure I found it. Pretty sure it's engraved from T to R. I'm pretty sure I found it. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I still got it in my pocket. In the end, you were going to propose you, a puppet. Yeah. Judge, don't think about it too much. Don't be obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love. Yes, but your love is also Ben's love, because you're his puppet. Any emotions you have, you two share. I don't think Trilo figured out that he's a puppet, or at the very least he isn't aware that he's a puppet. but it's gonna be interesting. I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her, too. Exactly. His honor is looking a little less than honorable right now. Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination. What was with that sigh at the end? I don't know. About the proposal. It's a good show. Wait, we're not talking about that proposal. Okay, never mind. That was a bit of a dated joke. That was a bit of an off-color joke, but you get it. Press. By proposal, you mean proposing marriage, correct? To Regina? Of course that's what I meant. What kind of stupid question is that? I wasn't going to propose that we become some sort of outlaw biker gang together. I mean, that would be metal as fuck, but I don't think you're gonna do that. Right, Ben? Yeah. Got it. That's the truth. I had something to give to her. Something to give to her. What was it exactly that you plan on giving her? You know exactly what I was going to give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. Engagement ring? Wow. Those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. No. It's not a joke. I swear to you, it's not a joke. This is a trial. This is an actual trial that's going to court right now. This is what your job description entails. This is the shit you get paid to do. And it is glorious. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whips look like he's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that will probably shut someone up for a long time. Push on anyway! It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to a human— Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short. I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring? I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology. You sure do enjoy swaying the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. Well, I plan on giving an engagement ring to Regina. I kept it in my pocket waiting for the chance to propose and give— Okay. Alright, he's revised it. Okay, let's see what he says when I push this one now. An engagement ring. Uh-huh. It's actually a diamond-shaped stone cut from glass. Even more brilliant than the real thing. I think Regina is going to love it. It's just a ring. What's the matter, Nick? Well, there's gotta be something I can catch him on. There is, because we found the ring. Kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Alright. Whose pocket was the ring in? Mine, of course. What a stupid question. Well, Ben could have also kept it in his pocket as well. He could have held on to it for you. His pockets are bigger. You gotta be kidding me. You think Ben could pull this off? Could pull that off? I'm sorry. Really. You don't have to apologize for that. He's the one that should be apologizing. Well, don't punch him anyway. Really. Yes, this is an actual case that's going to court. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. Okay, let's keep pushing. So you went to the lodging house to give it to her. That's right. I tried to give it to her during practice so many times I lost count, but that uppity snob kept getting in the way. Yes, because he's also in love with her. Yeah, this is probably the weirdest love triangle. This is like a bad joke. This is like a joke about the two guys that walk into a bar. It's like one of those. Uppity snob? You couldn't possibly be talking about me, Maximilian Galactica. Why did I get a hold of him and got to saw his wood block in half, and not with magic? Well, that's not a good idea to be spouting that in front of the court of law, but... Well, they always say they love creates rivalries. So, what about this present? Well, in the end I wasn't able to give it to her, so I still got it in my pocket. Are you sure about that? I think I have it. So, you're still thinking of trying to give it to Regina? Of course I am. I spent 3 months' salary on this thing. I'm not going to give it up that easily. I wonder how much he receives from appearing in the circus. Probably way more than he deserves. How about it, Nick? I think it's about time to unwrap this toy's testimony. That's the spirit, Nick. Give him heck. The judge's dazed and confused look again. Maybe he should get out more. Alright. Okay, let's go to the very end of his testimony, because that's what I need to push him on. That's what I need to present. Still got it in my pocket. No. You do not. I have it in my hand right here.
Objection!
Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it? What are you talking about? Uh-oh. Looks like they're going up to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring? Oh, that's mine! Give it back! Thief! Thief! Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? Ah, that's a fair point. What is going on here? It's obvious, isn't it? That's... Ben, say something! Eh, don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean a room they put money in like a bank vault? No. Money the monkey. Ah, that filthy monkey is gonna get what's coming to him. Mr. Quest, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court. Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word. Ah, I see. Well then. Money likes to go after the shiniest things he can find and gather them up. Shiny things? Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, that night. The night of the crime. What did you just say? Details. I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up to in the plaza. Okay. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might, be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time. Ook ook. Ah! Ouch! Ow! Wait, is the monkey in the courtroom right now? Or is that just... Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It's nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder. Yes, but it does put a big hole in your testimony, namely that you didn't actually see the ringmaster. Or you only saw Max. It's not for you to decide what it has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted a thing. No, not I, Mr. Triloquist. What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo? You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey, Money. But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It's all this slow-leafly fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. That is indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be? Well, first and foremost that Ben doesn't exercise enough, but that Ben's testimony has a flaw. There's a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just say that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What does it mean all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I was going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Interesting, Mr. Wright. Well then, tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Okay. Do you have proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, this doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. Yes, a valid point. The witness is lying. He is blinded by his rivalry with Max. Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant. What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar. Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night. I told you so many times. You'd think you know my story's not changing. You've already changed your story, Stick Boy, and I'm sure it will change some more. Where there's one line, there's usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him. Yeah. Okay. Well, continue. Well, witnessing Max. Alright. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. Huh. Okay. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. Yes, but as we've established, it may not be... Well, as we established, he also didn't see Regina's father, which is, I don't know, it's kind of your boss, and you should stick out like a sore thumb. You should know exactly where he is. I can tell where my boss is from a mile away. I usually know where he is. I usually go to him to get my paychecks and stuff. I usually know where he is and where I can find him. So yeah, it should be obvious. It should be obvious that you didn't see your boss, which is odd, because you should know him because he's the guy who hired you. But in any case, Judge. So that means that money didn't show up until after you saw Max. That's right. Money ran up then less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring, and you went chasing after him? How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting? Well, let's see. I'd say about... I suppose 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived at the scene in that 5-minute stretch. Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Witnessing Max. Well, we need to keep pushing, because there's got to be a hole. I'll give you that I was waiting for that night for Regina. Yeah. Give me some more information. So you were only concerned with waiting for Regina that night. That means you probably wouldn't have noticed if someone else showed up. You should think about how many eyes I actually have. 2. Two of them are painted on and can't actually see a goddamn thing. And 2 of them are bangs. So, I've got 4, you know. 4. F-O-U-R. Counting Ben, of course. With that many eyes, do you really think something will slip by me? Possibly. 4 eyes is an awful lot of attention directed in one area, I suppose. Yikes. The judge is even more dangerous to our case than Trilo. Alright. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. Well, let's test that theory. So you saw Max coming out of the big top that night. Of course that's where I saw him coming from. I was staring at the entrance of the tent the entire time. I guess that makes sense, especially since he was waiting for Regina. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. Okay. About what time would you say the events took place? You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure it out yourself. Yes, but this is a court of law. My job is to be thorough and make sure that we have all the information needed to paint a good picture of the case. That is what lawyers do. All they do is ask questions, get details, and lay out a roadmap. That is their job. You already know that practice finishes promptly at 10 p.m. And you already know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to know about what time it was when I saw him. Just add 10 more minutes. I'm sure you can do that. Now, what time was it? Indeed, what time was it? What time was it? Let me think about that for a second. Yow! I'm not good at that. It was 10:10 p.m. Ah, yes, that sounds about right. It sounds about right because that's the time I saw Max on the scene. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night? You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. Yes, but as we have established, you guys hate each other. I really doubt you would be that polite to somebody you hate. What, Ben? You got something to add? Let me guess. That's not it, Trilo. You say good evening at night. I'm sorry, Trilo. Mr. Quest, I would prefer it if you kept your ventriloquist act out of the courtroom. Impossible. Performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better. There's gotta be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Trilo's evening greeting. Definitely. Since he hates Max, he wouldn't openly say good evening to him. At all. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange. Why would it strike you as strange? Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your co-workers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a co-worker, I would understand. Yeah, that hurt! Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with evidence? Bluffing is everything in this world, but I'm sure you already learned that one. I guess I can give it a shot. The witness will resume his testimony. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Max Galactica at the scene. Good evening. Do I have any evidence that I can use to prove it? I doubt it. I doubt I have the evidence to prove anything. They told her that as a symbol of Max's fabulousness to profound crime scene. But this is one of Max's 3 famous symbols. Well, the bottle is the only thing that would present. Press? You are 100% absolutely sure of what you said. I told you already. Jeez, I'm 100% absolutely sure. There's no way he could be any more confident than that, right? There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. Okay, press again. There's gotta be something more. Those 3 ridiculous symbols, huh? Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? If you're gonna ask again, I'll answer with a chorus. Everyone together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you very much. Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you? But it's fun shouting with everyone else. Fair enough. There has to be a hole in his testimony somewhere. I agree, but do we have the proof to make something stick? All we can do is try, right, Nick? We've got to have something that will prove useful. Alright, time to get to work. I have an idea. There's only one thing. There's only one thing I can think of. It's the broken bottle. That's the only thing I can think of, but I'm also afraid that it'll result in Max being convicted of assault instead. Which may not be the smartest move, but... screw it. Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big a deal. It was just an argument. A disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head. That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he? What? Is that a admission of assault and battery? I had a feeling this was going to end well, but... Ouch! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. Yeah, assault and battery is definitely a lesser crime, and he'll probably be arrested, and he'll probably be tried for that, so, at a later date, but, murder is probably worse. Actually, murder is definitely worse, so maybe stick to the murder charge for now. The truth is, on the day of the crime, the defendant witnessed a huge fight. There was absolutely no way that they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on the stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would just go up and say good evening to his rival. Gah.
Objection!
Are you saying that this witness is lying? Again? Yes. Yes, actually that is exactly what I'm saying. That he's trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie, honestly. I just, That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? Let me clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? He didn't see anyone he saw the defendant. He would have seen a different person. If he had indeed seen the defendant... Well, he would have seen a different person because there was no way he would be that polite to a rival. Not in the slightest. I'm gonna go with he saw a different person. That's the only thing I can think of. It's my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he was saying good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person that the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greetings at all. Which means that there's only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. But then who? That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it. What in the world? Who would the defendant kindly explain who was Trilo saw that evening then? I know exactly who. If he didn't see Max, then he would have had to see the other defendant. He would have had to see Russell Berry. The guy who died. He would have had to have seen him. That's the only other explanation. Considering the ill temper of this witness, there's only one person he would greet with. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute. No! No, Your Honor. It's not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh, yeah. I suppose you got a point there. It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? Thank you! You're correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. I was scared for a minute. The bar didn't go away. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you agreed him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? Gulp. Answer the question, Mr. Quist. Okay, so he did recognize his boss. Wow. Yeah, so he did recognize his boss, just as I went on a big spiel about. Order, order! How do you respond to this? Well, wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But, once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica. Dude, stop, put down the shovel. You're just digging a bigger hole for yourself. I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quest obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry? The prosecution argues that it was the defendant the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. The 3 symbols? Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man, you gotta remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone all together now. Ow! Yes, we know. The silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me. That's a good point. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. That's a valid point! That's a valid point! Possibly even Russell Berry. What? That's a point. Miss Von Karma. Do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw that was the defendant? Well, apparently not, if she's this flustered. If that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point. Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. Huh? Yeah, this is... Okay, I'm interested. You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix, right? What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from the witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your efforts, but... Who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Mo. Huh? Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question, and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. That there is no one other than Max Galactica responsible for this crime. Maybe. Stranger things have happened in this franchise, no less. In this franchise, a parrot literally went to court in the last game. There's definitely a possibility for things to go completely weird. All right. Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request that the prosecution prepare for the next witness. Okay. Court is now in recess. Alright, that's the end of this section. To be continued. Alright. Well, that was fun, I think. So. Okay, so let's just to recap. What happened was Trilo didn't actually see anything important. He claimed that he saw Maximilian Galactica, but as we established, Max could just have easily worn his hat and cloak. Well, Russell could have just as easily worn his hat and cloak, but still, somebody else could have easily worn his hat and cloak, and nobody could have truly identified who exactly it actually was. And to bring the point home, there was also a big hole in this, a 5-minute window in the testimony where the defendant could have shown up, and then also Russell Barry. But yet there was only one person. So yeah, there's definitely some suspicious holes in the testimony, but we'll get to those in a minute because we're going to have to get to those next week because we're going to be interviewing Mo next, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to be investigating him and what he saw because he had a front row seat to the murder. It was right outside his bedroom window. He would have known exactly what is going on. So he would know. So he's going to definitely know who murdered who. But in any case, I think I am going to leave this episode here. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter in the description below. And also, be sure to check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that I'm always saying thanks. So be sure to check this out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!